In his compelling documentary, Weed.
You've looked at the evidence.
There is real science now out there.
He was flat out wrong about weed.
A year-long journey that changed what many of us thought about marijuana, myself included.
I think, we've been terribly and systematically misled.
We used to only picture this. Then we showed you this. Medical marijuana, treating seizures, pain, dozens of other ailments.
Charlotte's doing amazing, just better and better each month.
But we learned this wasn't the end of the story. It was just the beginning.
I think we went from about 150 calls a month to over 4,000.
There are still so many issues to be addressed. The federal government says marijuana is among the most addictive drugs with no medicinal value. Many serious scientists say they're wrong.
It's a medicine.
It's the politics of pot, pitting policy against patients. Trapped in the middle, sick, qualified people who want medical marijuana but can't get it because it's illegal.
And if you tried to go back to Ohio with Jordan's medication,
Will be arrested.
All for a plant that you're going to see can work wonders for pain in a grown man, MS in a woman at the peak of her life, and seizures in a little girl. We traveled the globe asking scientists, patients, and policymakers for a solution. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, and this is Weed 2, Cannabis Madness.
Have you changed your views of marijuana? I have. I grew up like most of my generation believing that marijuana was, something Satan was throwing at Americans and a communist plot. But I think most of us have come around to the belief that marijuana is hugely beneficial when used correctly for medicinal purposes. We pervert its use sometimes. I don't think it should be widely used, certainly by kids, because it creates a dependence that's unhealthy in any setting. But it absolutely should be widely available in America. And we've created one of those hypocritical paradoxes where in New Jersey, where I live, for example, I'm allowed to give you marijuana medicinally, but I'm not allowed to buy it. So now what do you do? I have to break the law to follow my doctor's orders.
Ricky Lake is advocating using pot for children who are fighting cancer.
And look, she knows it's controversial. She's not shying away from it, but she says marijuana could save young lives.
This is her cannabis oil regimen that we have right now. We give her the size of about a half a grain of rice 2 times a day with baby food.
That's it. There's a particular family that you're following in this documentary. Tracy, Josh, and their baby Sophie. What led you to this family?
So via social media, we found this baby and she was diagnosed at 7 months old. And we're talking about this baby that has this brain tumor and they're seeing unprecedented results with chemotherapy and cannabis at the same time.
We're gonna fight till the end. We're not gonna stop until this cancer is gone.
Are you ready? Are you ready to kick cancer in the butt?
Sophie's treatment is not legal on a federal level. Marijuana is still a Schedule I drug and is in the same category as heroin and ecstasy, meaning there's no accepted medical use, despite the fact that 21 states plus DC allow medical marijuana.
I'm certainly not encouraging drug use. I mean, I'm very clear that I am not an expert, I am not a doctor, I am a mother, and I'm someone who cares about people, and I'm on this quest, to learn more.
Very early studies on mice in Israel, Spain, and the United States are now showing the potential of marijuana to kill cancer cells.
We actually just got her up to 1 gram of cannabis oil as of last night, which is what, a lot of the research says is the dose that really does all the cancer killing.
The alleged cancer killing property is not the THC that gets you high. It's the CBD, known as cannabinoid. Ricky's putting the spotlight on this controversial treatment in Weed the People. The film isn't made yet, and Ricky's looking for help, raising money through WeedThePeopleMovie.com.
Tumor is actually dying in certain areas. There's no new growth. I'm just thrilled. This is the most amazing news we could have ever gotten.
Not all cannabis is going to get you stoned. That's because marijuana contains another chemical known as CBD. That's cannabidiol. Marijuana plants that have low THC and high CBD can work really well as a medicine. They can treat things like epilepsy. It works because the CBD chemical can quiet excessive electrical and chemical activity in the brain. I know this 3-year-old girl who went from having 300 seizures a week to 2 per month after her parents gave her cannabis with high levels of CBD. When it comes to marijuana, there's some 500 different chemical compounds. All these compounds work together. It's something known as the entourage effect. It's important because you can't just take a chemical out of marijuana and make a medicine. You need the whole plant, especially when it comes to using pot instead of pills.